right. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday's Let's Get Social. I am so excited to be here and to see all of you. Hello, Tammy. Let me see who we have. Hi, Marilyn. So, for those that this is their first time, um, if you are not aware, I am streaming to multiple platforms. So, we have YouTube, we have Facebook, and we have TikTok. So, I have a couple of different cameras. So, if you see me looking in a different direction, it is because I'm trying to make sure that I am looking at both the screens and responding to all of the comments. I appreciate you all joining. Make sure that you tap the like button because that helps to notify people that we are on. It is Friday. It is beautiful outside, so people may be out enjoying this spring-like weather in the middle or towards the end of winter because spring is almost here for sure. The weather is definitely saying that. So anyway, I'm really excited because we're going to be doing a fun sew along today. We're doing Simplicity 9784. And I have already done one version, which you see behind me. And I did that in a woven. So this pattern is for a knit, but I felt like I was just looking through my fabrics and I was like, you know what? I'm feeling the woven for this pattern. And actually when I picked it a long time ago, I actually thought it was woven. And so I just wanted to get a feel for it. So I decided when I was making my muslin that I would try it out to see what it was like in a woven fabric. So I can tell you a little bit about your ability to be able to do this pattern in woven as well as knit. And then today we are going to be doing a primarily knit, but I am going to have a stretch jean fabric. This pattern, if you look at the style lines, it does have a little bit of an ability to do some color blocking in it. And so we're going to explore that. Even though we didn't do it on this one, we're going to explore it a little bit. And so I put a little bit of jean, but other than that, the rest of the fabric is a rib knit. So it does have the stretch that this pattern actually calls for. So we're gonna play around a little bit. We'll be doing this together. And so I'm really excited about it. It is a fairly quick sew. I'm going to use my little air quotes because those that sew with me know that I'm a slow sewist and I use sew in the most positive way because I'm okay with that. I like to take my time. I like to make sure that those that are watching this or sewing along with me have the ability to ask questions and follow along with me. And so that is, I think, the benefits of doing it slow. And I get lots of positive feedback for those that do go back and watch the sew along because they decide to make the garment, that it's really helpful that, I'm re-explaining. So I appreciate that feedback. It's very helpful to me as well. And I also just want to, I'm doing a little bit of housekeeping as we're waiting for people to kind of hop on. I want to also give a huge, thank you to everyone. I need to post it on all my platforms, but I am officially monetized on YouTube. So I definitely appreciate everyone who has followed, who has liked, who has shared the Let's Get Social YouTube page because it is monetized. And so I'm really excited about that. I also I'm waiting for some of the features to open up, but I also did just add a membership feature, and I'm really excited about that because I think that's a way for me to be able to, continue to give back more to those that, tune in. And so take a look at some of the different levels. It's very low, and I think that most of what comes in, I'm going to be, pouring it back into all the sewists because, again, I still consider myself a beginner sewist, although, many in the sewing community probably would dispute that, but I relate very heavily to the beginner sewist. And so I'm trying to do everything that I can to make everyone, a new person's sewing experience, just as enjoyable as it can be. And so sometimes it can be a little bit challenging because there's just so much that you are trying to learn at once. And it could also be a little bit overwhelming. So I'm excited about being able to assist people in more ways. So I wanted to share that. And then the other thing too I wanted to share is that I will, and I think I mentioned this the last couple, but I just want to remind you that the next 2 Fridays I will not be on. So she will be doing a live sew along on Fridays in the same time slot. And so I'm excited about her being able to cover for those 2 Fridays that I'm going to not be available. Hi. And I am, I will be away I'll be going to Dubai and to the Maldives. And so I'm not really sure. I've been trying to read up about my options or my ability to be able to live stream there so that I can continue to connect, because I do plan to, at least while I'm in Dubai, I do plan to go to a fabric store or two while I am there. And so one of the things I want to be able to do to those that are, members on YouTube, is to kind of live stream while I'm going into the fabric stores, and then just live stream in general while I'm away at some points of this, vacation. I also want to be able to, give early access to some of the things that I will be releasing while I am away. So I've been working a lot on doing some pre-records. So although I won't be here, I have about 4 pre-records that will be released while I am away. Yesterday I had the opportunity to go to the Burna Boy concert in DC. And this is my second time seeing him, and I will go over and over again. And I made a lace dress, and I did a sew along for that. So I'm excited about it because it was everything I wanted it to be and then some. And so I'm excited about that. A very easy sew. So I'll be releasing that. And then I'll be also releasing the sew along for what is it? Oh goodness, the jacket, basically the jacket. Let me just show you the jacket that I did, the bomber jacket. So here is the bomber jacket that I did a while ago. And so I did do a sew along. I did a sew along and I recorded it quite some time ago, but I had to still do the voiceover to it. I am going to put snaps on here. I'm conflicted about what kind of snaps that I want to do, so I haven't put them on here yet. But I have a sew along for this that I will be releasing. And then, so I have the lace dress. I have this bomber jacket. I'll be releasing a sew along. And then I did Nikki from Beauty Du Jour's a year ago. It's been a year actually. A year ago. No, not a year ago. So I did it in April. I did her dress, her blazer dress, and I never released it. And so I'm gonna, I did a professional photo shoot and I never released it. So I'm going to be releasing some of the photos that I did for that professional photo shoot, and just a little bit of the process that I did to do that blazer dress. It is awesome. I love it. And it took everything in me to not release it. And then, so that's the third thing. And then what is the last one? I have one more pre-record that I did. I've been stacking so that you all can get stuff while I'm away. And so some of that, if you are a part of the membership, then you will get early access to that, and a lot more things that I'm doing, including an upcoming photo shoot that I will be doing when I return from Dubai. And so I also have some behind the scenes video footage that I want to, release to the other photo shoot that I did. And that photo shoot was a part of what I did to prepare for the Sewn magazine feature, which the magazine is out. And so for those that haven't seen it, I have a lot of photos in the magazine. I haven't posted yet, but let me just do a little quick. Where am I? So here are some of the photos. And then another one, and you can see D is in there as well. So I have plenty more that did not get published that are like amazing photos. So I'm really excited about the photos that are in the Sewn magazine as well. And so I'm going to be working with that same photographer. He's a wedding photographer, but he does like amazing action, photos. Definitely not, he took me way out of my comfort zone. So, and when you see the pictures in the magazine, I think those are those are great pictures. And I'm glad that those ones were selected, but there are some that are a little bit more edgy, and I'm excited to share those as well. So anyway, a lot of housekeeping things before we dive into this sew along, but I'm excited to do that with you all as well. And so we're gonna get started. But first, let me just say hi to all the people that are joining. Hi, Keisha. Hi, Miss Tata. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, Keisha. Hi. Let me see. McLaren, Arva McLaren, hello. Jean, Wendy, hello. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the likes. Hi, let me see. Is it Tammy? Hi, Sparker. Hi, Gaynell. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited that you all are here, and let's dive into this sew along. So, let me take this off. Let me tell you about what I did in preparing. So, as I mentioned before, this pattern, Simplicity 9784, is done with a knit fabric, but that's what it calls for. But I felt like this one is super cute, and I felt like it would look good with the woven, and so I did do a woven. And what you see at the bottom is just the extra fabric, because I was trying to get a feel for whether I am going to do some pants or a skirt with this, but this is the woven fabric. And so let me just tell you a little bit about what I did. I did cut a size large for this, and the size large is about the measurements do line up with where I am, in general. But I was a little nervous about that because, there's very little stretch. This is Ankara, fabric. So what I did do is the middle piece that you cut on the fold, I added 1 inch all the way around the fabric, just to make sure that I had enough, because I figure I wouldn't have enough stretch. Ultimately, I ended up removing some of that in the arm area because I put about a 1 inch dart in each arm. So, and then it's a little bit of a gap here, but nothing significant, nothing that I wanted to do anything about. And so I'm sharing that with you because I would say that you may, depending on how much bust you have, you may be able to get away with very little adjustment, because I almost feel like in general, I can take a lot out of what I put in. I didn't make any adjustments to the side. So there are roughly 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. There are 4 pieces, 3 of which, one piece is the straps. And so you don't really have to account for that, because that's not your size isn't really going to matter for that. But I only made adjustments to this center piece. So there's a middle piece here, and you'll be able to see it much more clearly because I'm doing some color blocking in the version today. So I'll point it out to you. That's the only piece that I made some adjustment to. And again, I put a 1 inch dart in right here on each bust area, because it was a little bit of gapping right here, or not a little bit, it was a lot. And so I took it out. And that's really the only adjustment that I did. And then the only other thing I would say is that this dress form is a size 8, so it's a little bit smaller. So that's why you see a little bit of extra here. But when I try it on, it does fit me pretty good. Is that there's like not this much, it's a very little bit of extra right here. The only other thing I will tell you is that I did put it on with a bra, and your bra will show, unless you need to probably add about 1.5 inches. You need to come down 1.5 inches here on each one of the back pattern piece, if you want to hide your bra strap. And so otherwise, if your bra strap hits your mid, I guess, yeah, your mid back area, it is going to show just in this part right here, but it's something that you can add by adding about 1.5 inches to your back piece. And that will hide your bra strap. If you want to be able to wear a bra with it without having to wear one that goes around your neck. Otherwise, you can wear a bra that goes around your neck without the back pieces. And many bras do that nowadays. They allow you to take the back pieces and strap them around the neck. So if you don't have that option, then you will definitely, or you feel like you need more support than that will give you, then you will need to bring the back pieces down about, when I did my measurements, about 1.5 inches is what you'll need to bring it down in order to, or it's probably net 1 inch, because no, 1.5 inches, because 5/8 of it will go away. And I did do that measurement after I made the garment. So it was 1.5 inches is what I need to do. So anyway, that is what happened when I did it with a woven fabric. Again, I am going to be making either a pants or a skirt to go with this. And I'm just going to share with you really quick, and then we're going to dive into this, just some of the patterns that I'm considering. So I'm considering making these pants to go with this top. And so the other thing I just want to mention to people is, because I'm going to Dubai in the middle of Ramadan, I want to make sure that I am not showing too much skin, and that I am considerate of, the country that I'm in, and the environment that I'm in. So that is why I'm having to kind of rethink a little bit of what I was going to wear, and make sure that it's going to be super hot, but also that I am modest in what I'm wearing. So I want to be cute, but I also want to be modest. So if I do a skirt, it's going to be a longer skirt. If I do the pants, it's going to be some flowy, pants. And then if I did a dress, I was thinking about something like View D right here, which is a little bit longer. And so I was thinking about that as an option. And then I also was thinking about View A here. So a little bit more of a fitted dress, but still comes all the way down. And then I have some other fabric. I'm going to probably make a wrap dress, a sleeveless wrap dress as well. Those are some of the things that I'm thinking about making, both for this top that I'm making tonight. I need to make bottoms for that, and then the one that you see on the dress form here. So those are just some of the options. All right, let's get into it, because we talked a lot and we got some work to do today. So let's get into it. Hey, Aisha. Oh, that's Miss Tata. Thank you for joining on YouTube. I appreciate it. Very helpful. Okay. So we are doing View B. Let me just show you what View B is. So this pattern does have a couple of different options in terms of what you can do. So this is View B right here, this back. It's got the crossover at the back, and then the full front. The front pretty much looks the same in all of them. And let me just show you. View A is basically just the top, and the back is the back and the front pretty much look just about the same on View A. View B is what we're doing. It's this back is View B. And then View C has that same front, but the back has like it comes all the way down. It has a little teeny opening in the back, like a little half circle in the back is what View C is. So you have 3 different options in terms of what you do. Hi, Dress Your Identity. Hi, Jermaine. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Sabrina, welcome. So we're going to be doing View B. And so the first step let me show you the fabrics that I'm using too. So I said I'm using a rib knit. So I'm using I have white for my straps. And then I'm using this green, this hunter green, or it's a little lighter than hunter green, but this green for my front and my back pieces. And then I have this stretch jean that I am using for, there's like a middle piece, and then there's like a side piece. So I'm using this green on the side. So it's going to be green, jean, and then green in the back for the crossover pieces. And then the little straps will be white is what they will be. So that's kind of the color scheme that I'm using. And again, I'm trying to use fabrics that I have, my stash. I'm trying to plow through my stash. You all have heard me talk about this. I have so much fabric I need to get rid of. And as exciting as it is to use new fabric, I'm trying to use what I have. So that's why you might see some of these fabrics over and over again. As I get down to little bits, I am just going to, you know, continue to just plow through the fabrics. Dress Your Identity, you said it has princess seams. What are princess seams? That's a term I have not heard of. Somebody drop it in the chat. Let me know what that is, because I'm not familiar with that terminology. Let's learn together. I'm excited to learn. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Miss Tata. I appreciate you. Okay, so step one is for us to pin the front and the side front together. So I'm going to grab the front piece, which is piece number 1. And piece number 1, you cut on the fold. So here is our piece number 1. And again, I cut a size of large is what I cut. So we're going to see how, you know, it might be a little bit, I feel like it might be a little bit oversized, but we'll see. It's so much easier to make it smaller than to make it larger. Easier to make it small than to make it larger. Yes, I said that right. Okay, so princess seams are seams connecting the side piece and the middle piece of the bodice. Yes, it definitely has princess seams. Thank you. I learned some new words. I'm going to steal that and use that on a regular basis. Thank you. So we're going to be taking our center piece and we're going to be connecting it to our 2 side pieces. So right sides together, I will be pinning, and let me just turn to, let me add that to the stage, and then let me move this down so you on. So I am basically doing right sides together. And I'm going to use my pins. We're going to pin this. So yesterday I went to the concert last night, and it was great. And I had 4 seats, so it was, you know, I'm 5'2", and I struggle always to see with people in front of me, and it was just a great experience, just being right there. And I'm gonna tell you, the people in the at the arena did a really good job of keeping people from coming up the front and, you know, blocking the way, which again I greatly appreciated, because I'm short, so it only takes one person to block my way. And so I was really excited about that. But it was just, I got so much video that I need to post, because I had a great, when I tell you I had a great view, I might as well been up on stage, because it was a really good view. So I'm very excited to, you know, kind of share. I have a 12-hour flight, so y'all go, I don't know, I'm assuming I'm going to have internet access all 12 hours there, but I will be active, posting. So don't get sick of me. Don't get sick of me. This is my first time ever going to Dubai, so I'm really excited about it. And unlike Bali, where it's basically it's a 24-hour travel time to get there, and you lose a whole day. When you get there, you arrive a day after. Now you gain the day back when you return, but nonetheless, you lose a day. You're on a plane for literally 24 hours. You are on the plane 24 hours. Okay, so that's one side pin. I'm going to pin the other side, and then we're going to sew. But I'll have plenty of time that I will be posting a lot of content that I've been recording and collecting and wanting to post. And I look forward to engaging with those that, you know, become members of the Let's Get Social YouTube page. I know a lot of people on some of the other platforms have those broadcast channels. I don't have one of those channels, so it's always been, I think I stay pretty connected to everyone. People reach out. I try to be as responsive, particularly if I'm not traveling. I try to be pretty responsive, but I think this is a way for me to be able to share a little bit more, particularly when I don't want to post it, like, for example, the dress that I wore yesterday. It's, it's something where if you were there in person, you got to see it, but I probably will not be posting a picture of me wearing that dress, just because it's, you know, everything doesn't have to go on the internet. So, but it would be something that I would probably share in a closed group, because I mean, it's beautiful, but it's just, again, everything isn't meant to be seen, if you know what I mean. So, okay, so ouch, stuck myself a couple times. All right, so right sides together, we have our fabric pinned, and now we are literally going to sew right there and then stitch right there. Our seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, so that's what we're going to use, and we're ready to sew. So I'm going to just turn this over a little bit so that you can see, and let me just flip there so that you can see there. All right, here we go. So I'm going to show you also making, when I talked about making that wrap dress, and I'm going to make the long version. I have this fabric that I bought from when we were in Atlanta. We went fabric, when I went to the So Much Talent retreat, one of the things that we did was we went to the sewing, not pattern shopping. We went to some of the fabric stores, and I have some fabric that I bought from there, and it's beautiful. So not unlike, this fabric is, it's what I would call like neutral colors. I think the white is going to bring it out a little bit more. But this is like really flowery, bright colors. So I'm excited to kind of mix it up a little bit. The other thing I'm going to be sewing is some bathing suits. Well, a bathing suit. Part of this trip is to celebrate one of my girlfriend's 50th birthday, and we're doing a photo shoot while we're there, guys, women, and men, and we all have to wear red. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make me a red bathing suit. So I ordered some red fabric that you use to make bathing suits, and so I'm now looking for some bathing suits. So if you have some bathing suit suggestions for things that I can make, 1-piece, 2-piece, I'm here for it all. Drop it in the chat for me, because I'm definitely looking for some suggestions around bathing suits. I'm open to independent, I'm open to commercial, let me know. I do have to make it this weekend, so because I leave next week. So definitely excited if you have some suggestions. All right, one side down, just to show you what that looks like. There we go. That's what that looks like. It's a little dark, but I think that the white will brighten it up a little bit. So I think the white will brighten it up. Oh, there's my iron. I was like, what is that noise? So, and I bought the red, and then I also bought some red lace, because I'm thinking I'll make a red cover up as well. Now, in the Maldives, you have less, and that's where we're going to be doing the photo shoot when we're in Maldives. I don't know if we're going to be on the desert or not. I have to ask her, but we don't have to worry as much about being as conservative when we're there. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited to find a bathing suit that I can wear, or that I can make that I can wear. So anybody ever make this pattern, the one that we're working on today? I know 9784 Simplicity. Anybody ever make this? And anybody sewing anything exciting this weekend? I know a lot of people are at the at the Sew Your View retreat. I was not able to go because it started yesterday, and I was at the concert last night. And then there's, I think, a part 2 next week as well, but I will be gone on my trip. So I've been watching them post some pictures, and it looks like they are having an amazing time. I definitely wish I could be there, but I'm not able to be there. So that's that. Okay, so this is the front part of our let me just remove from the stage so you can see that better. So this is the front of the shirt. Okay, so the next piece that we're going to do, I'm going to put this to the side for now, and we're going to work on, so that was piece 1, piece 2. So now we are going to work on piece number 4. So piece number 4, here is piece number 4. And let me just turn this around so you can see piece number 4. And what it tells us to do, this is the back piece, is it tells us to basically create a narrow hem down this very long part. And this is kind of where the back opens up. So let me just show you how that looks on here so you can see. Let me just move that up so you can see a little bit. Okay, so are these pieces right here. So you are basically creating a narrow hem that goes down these pieces. So because this is going to just be open at that point. So we're going to take this piece, and I don't know whether it will iron. Obviously the iron car fabric is much easier to work with. Oops, there we go. It's much easier to work with, but I'm going to just fold. I'm going to fold it and press it. Oh, thank you, Sabrina. Okay, so Dress Your Identity said, I'm working on a few things for my channel. I just made a Hanifa inspired top out of curtains. Okay, I'm excited about that. Let me make sure let me write down so I can make sure I'm following you. Did I follow you? Because I want to be able to see that. I'm just getting my pen. So I can write it down. All right, here we go. All right. Then when we're all said and done, well, I guess I could always go back to this chat too because it saves it. All right, so I'm gonna take my iron. Oh, you know what? Let me get my ironing pad. And I'm gonna see if it'll let me press it. Otherwise, if it does not press well, which I don't know if it will, then I'm gonna just do the fold, kind of fold it as I will just fold it as I am ironing. I mean, as I'm sewing it. We'll see. The great thing about Ankara or cotton or woven fabric pretty much is that it's a lot easier to, press and get it to stay. Oh, you're very welcome. Hey, Angela, welcome. Let me see. Miss Tata said, I'm trying to choose cute patterns for loungewear. Still stash busting. I don't know. I'm not, I mean, I have bought a little bit of fabric, but way less fabric, I'm gonna be honest with you, than I normally would buy. Like normally, I'd be buying fabric, but I have learned, let me tell you, I have learned my lesson, because I literally, over the course of almost 2 years, a year and a half that I've been sewing, I accumulated so much fabric that it was on, I felt like a hoarder. Like I could barely step into my sewing space because it was I was buying bins. I was just buying bins, and just, so I just recently, and I'm not done yet because I have to buy another storage cabinet, because again, I filled up 2 storage cabinets full of fabric pretty much. Well, almost 2, because I have my sewing machines in there now too. So my sewing machines, and this is pressing well, it's laying well. So my sewing machines are in there. I have 2 full drawers worth of patterns. I think over 300 patterns are in those 2 drawers. And then the rest, all the rest of it, all the rest of the cabinets, all the rest of the drawers, 2 full floor to ceiling is nothing but fabric. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. So I'm like going through it, because at this point I gotta buy a whole nother cabinet. Oh, is this not liking that? Oh, it's not. It's not liking it. Oh, it burnt it. Well, I guess I gotta turn that down. It did. It burned it. Ooh. Let me make sure that's down. Yep, it's on cotton. I do not like it. The good thing is I have something to clean the iron, so I'll do that when we finish. So I have to buy another cabinet anyway. So my sewing space is not done yet, because I still have like 5 bins and a whole bunch of other stuff that I need to be able to put away in this cabinet. Ooh, that definitely burnt it. No wonder it was laying it down. It was like, it was laying it down. All right, I think I've pressed it down. Let me just press this part that got burnt a little bit. There we go. Every time I press a little part, I keep unpressing it. Another part. Ooh. All right, there you go. That's fully pressed. So it's gonna be easy just to take the stitch and go through it. And now I'm gonna do this one. So I bought this stuff a while ago. I haven't had to use it since I started using this iron, because that was my first time ever burning some fabric. That thing said, yeah, stick to it. I think I just took it for granted that, oh, I could just iron whatever I want and don't have to really adjust the temperature. Just the temperature, because everything cannot take the full. All right, there we go. That was easy. Okay. Oops. But anyway, I was saying that I bought this iron cleaning stuff. So you put it on the iron and it basically cleans the iron. So I'm going to be able to use that. All right, here we go. So I'll move this out the way a little bit, and I'm going to do my narrow hem stitch. And let me see, I folded this under, but let me just see what it recommends. Make sure I don't go over. It says, okay, we already know 5/8, and let me just see. Sometimes they'll give you some extra instructions. Did they give us an instruction for, they don't tell us. They don't tell us what the narrow hem is. So we're going to do the 5/8. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. I already folded it under 5/8, and now we're going to do this. So I'm sorry, I folded it under 5/8, but I'm stitching it at 3/8. There we go. And this does have a little bit of a, it's not a perfect line, straight line. It has like a little bit of a curve to it. So just be mindful that you can't just, it's not like a straight line. It's a little bit, you can't really tell on the dress form, but when you cut the pattern, you'll see it's not just a straight, it's not just like a straight line. So just know that. It's not a curve, so it's not super complicated to do, but you just want to be mindful that you're not going to be able to just go straight. So you're not going to be able to see that because I'm using matching. Can you see it? Maybe you can see it a little bit, but I'm pretty much using matching fabric. So let me see if I can show you this closely so you can see. You might can see it a little bit. Can you see that? And where is my, I don't have this, just a little piece there. Did I not change this? Oh, snap. Guess what? I did not change. I never changed this thread. The good news is that the top thread, so you can't see this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's black. But from the top is, the part that's going to show is green. So I forgot to swipe out my thread, so I'm doing it right now. I was like, why does that look darker? That is why I changed the bobbin, but I did not change the top thread. So let me just do that really quick before I sew this other one. Good thing is you can't see it, so it's underneath. There we go. All right, so one side down, and now we're going to do this other side. That again, we pressed it already. This is the one I burnt. And let's see, here we go. And I'm also making sure that my fabric does not get sucked underneath. Can you see that? Okay, you can. Oh, snap. I accidentally switched it to a little bit of a zigzag, so I was like, what is going on? The great thing is when the matches, it's easy to hide those little mistakes. I am using a straight stitch, by the way. I just stretch my fabric out just a little bit as I'm sewing. Anybody else have any suggestions for bathing suits that I should sew? I appreciate you, Sabrina, for dropping a few in the chat. You said a faultless iron cleaner works very well. Look, I'm here for the whole iron cleaner. That was not my thing originally, but I'm so happy to have discovered that. And now I am about to make sure that I did not make another critical mistake, which is ironing both of these the right, and I did. I ironed both of them in the same direction. So I do need to use my seam ripper. So so this is one of those fabrics that it looks the same on both sides. And as you all know, that's my weakness, especially when I'm sewing on live, because I tend to be talking and not paying as much attention as I should. So I'm about to undo this really quick and sew it again on the other side. I think if anything, what y'all learn about sewing on live is that people make mistakes, and I'm people. I am people. So anybody got anything exciting going on this weekend? I will tell you that for me, in addition to sewing those things that I talked about, I am also doing a half marathon with my son tomorrow morning. And it's supposed to be raining, so I'm not happy about that. But that will be my motivation to get it done quicker. So that's going to be my weekend. Sewing, making sure I got everything ready for my trip, and doing this race tomorrow. Right. You said now you mark the right side of the fabric with chalk. Right. That's what I need to start doing, particularly. And I literally said it in my mind, like, LaShawn, don't make the mistake. And so this fabric is similar on both sides, but you can clearly tell the difference. And so I took it for granted. And so I need to mark the side, to your point. Definitely need to mark the sides, especially when you know you're going to be, let's see, a lot of results. So working 6 years in a fabric store and 4 years at Michael's. Look, Miss Tata, it is so, look, I can't even imagine how much fabric I would have accumulated if I worked in a fabric store. Like, that's unfathomable to me, because I was obsessed with fabric. Every time I would go into the fabric store, I didn't even go in there for fabric. I was going in there for other stuff and buying fabric. Like, come on. Why am I buying fabric? Why am I buying fabric? And then when I buy the fabric, I will not just buy one color, but I'm like this fabric I got here. I bought it in green. I bought it in white. I bought it in black. I'm sure I bought it in some other colors besides those. And I bought like 4 yards because I was like, so when I don't know what I'm going to do with the fabric, I tend to always buy 4 yards because I'm like, no matter what, I'm going to have fabric to do what I want to do. The problem is that then you have all this fabric. And so I made a dress out of this green fabric, a color block dress. I'm using the last little bit of the white that I had. I've used all the black. So literally it's just green. And so I'm going to use that green to make whatever bottoms I'm going to make to go with this. I'm using the rest of that green to make. And so the green will be done. I'm proud of myself. I'm working my way through this stash. Working my way through it. see. Oh, hi, Tiffany. You say you work that job just for the discount. Look, I'm all about getting a discount. I've I remember like when a while ago I used to sell Mary Kay, and I got sold on it and I loved it, and I was like, well, I need a discount. So I started selling Mary Kay so I could get the discount. Um I did that with some fitness stuff. I've done it for a lot of stuff because I'm like, if you get a discount, I want a discount too. So I am here for work at the store to get the discount. That is totally up my alley. Why not? Especially if you know you're going to use it. Why not save? Why not? It's definitely the way to go. All right, I am almost, well, not almost. I'm about halfway done picking this because I've picked some of the things. And this is one of those things where I am so afraid to take my seam ripper and just go down the thing. But let me see. So I don't know if you've ever done this method where you take your needle and put it in to kind of hold the fabric. I saw this on, I don't know, TikTok or something one time. And then you put the red one ball down. Let's see. I'm always nervous because sometimes it works. The good news is that I have plenty of this fabric. So, oh, it's working. Look at that. Oh, so nervous. I keep thinking, oh, I'm gonna put a hole in it, but it's not. So far, so good. Y'all think I'm gonna put a hole in this? It's a 50-50 chance. Let's say that. So far, so good. Look at that. It's working. I think you have to make sure you have a sharp seam ripper too. I think that helps. Look at that. It's working. No hole so far. Fingers crossed. Whatever y'all doing is magic because I have no holes in here. Think positive, right? Let me think positive because we are almost done. This is just so much quicker. Look at that. Boom. Look at that. Boom, it's done. That is done. It's out. Okay, so now I have this going this way, and I need to do this one. I got one little piece right here. I got to do this one going in the opposite direction. Just taking this one little piece out right here. That's where I back stitched. You said you used Mary Kay since you was 16. I sold it because of discounts. 50%. Right. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Got to get the discount. If it's a discount available, let me tell you, I'm going to find a way to get it. I'm going to find a way. Work smart and not hard. Spend my money wisely and not excessively, which is what I was doing when I bought all those fabrics. Oh, thank you. Look, Sabrina, you are helping me out big time. I can't wait to check out all these recommendations for the swimwear that you are making because I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for that. just taking out this double stitch. This is one of those areas where it doesn't help to have the thread match the fabric because you cannot get it out easily. And this is that for sure. Yes, Mary Kay does focus on skincare. I used their stuff for a long time before I, switched out, but I used it for probably the greater part of 10 years. And I didn't have any problems, honestly. This thing does not want to come out. Just trying to get this last little stitch out, and for some reason it does not want to come out. And it doesn't help that I can't really see it. I did all that seam ripping and might mess around and put a hole in this. Okay, I think that's it. No, what is it? Bear with me. I'm just trying to get this one little stitch out that I can't barely see. Nope. I'm about to just cut this piece off, to be honest with you, because I cannot get this out. And it's good that your thread is strong like this because you know your garment's not going to fall apart, but you need to take this out. All right, one more try and then we're moving on. We are moving, we're about to move on. All right, I'm about to cut this little piece off and we're going to call it a day. All right, let's see. Hi, Monica. Welcome. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm about to put a hole in this. All right, here we go. We're about to just cut this little piece off. All right, there we go. So I cut like 1/8 of an inch off this little piece I couldn't get out. All right, now we are folding it the opposite way. So let me move this out the way. Let me see. I just want to make sure. So that's that way. And this one goes this way. But it's going to go under. All right, I'm just going to press, give this a light press. And when I say light, I mean light for real, not burn the fabric, like light, like just put a little dip in it. then we're going to do a quick little sew. Just waiting for the iron to heat up. I had a little piece. This is the part I hate. This is my love-hate relationship with my seam ripper. Although I shouldn't talk bad about it, it made it through that whole thing without ripping a single hole in my fabric, which I can appreciate. This is just the other end. All right, last little piece, and the iron is ready to go. All right, I just folded it under a little bit. And now I am going to, there we go. So, hey, Tiffany, so we are sewing Simplicity 9784, and I'll show you a picture of it in 1 second. So we're working on, we did the front piece, and we are working on the back. We're working on the back of it. And right now we are doing on, I'm just preparing the garment to do an edge stitch. So I did one, the back is 2 separate pieces. I did one, and then I am now going to do the second back piece. So here is what the garment looks like, the top looks like, and we're working on these 2 back pieces right now. All right, and so now I'm about to do this stitch there. Now that I got the garment going in the right direction, we're going to just complete this so we can move on to the next step. We are back on track. Right. I see people doing that with the straight razor, and I haven't tried it, but I should. I definitely should. Okay, so we are done. I still have to pick those little extra fabric pieces of thread out from the original stitch, but I will do that after the fact. All right, so we're moving on to the next step, which is, since we put those 2 edge stitches in the back of piece number 4, which is the back, and I'm just going to pull this over so you can see. My dress form has said, I've had enough of you, and my wheel came off. Alright, let me see if I can move it. I'll move it over. Let me see so you can see it. Okay, anyway, you can kind of see. So we just did this edge stitching on the back, and now we're going to move on to the next step, which is combining these two back pieces to make them one single piece. So I've just pushed this down a little bit, and you're going to put them face right side up, face down, right side. You're going to lay them down right side up, and you're going to lay one on top of the other. So you're going to line up your neckline. You're going to line up your shoulders, your shoulder seams, and you are literally going to stitch. Let me just push this down so you can see. And you are literally going to stitch basically from one edge of the shoulder around the neckline down the other edge of the shoulder. You can literally do one single stitch. So before we do that, again, you're going to line those raw edges up, and you can clip or pin them, whatever is easier for you, whatever you prefer. So I'm just going to put a couple of clips in to line up those pieces. And you do have a little bit of overage. So if you can see, you'll be able to see kind of the raw edge kind of comes out a little bit on each of the shoulder. So it's not a perfect lineup for the shoulder. And that's just because eventually you're going to turn that piece under. That's basically your seam allowance. So I'm just lining up all those raw edges. And then I'm going to go up to my sewing machine. And at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, I am literally going to stitch down one edge around the neckline and down the other end. And you'll stop at the end of the shoulders. You'll stop at the end of the shoulders. And I'm just going to move this back. I know I keep moving it back and forth, and my dress form is like over it already. All right, here we go. Let's see. I want to make sure I got all the questions. Yeah, I think that this is definitely going to be, you said this would be a good top to upcycle from a button-up top. Yes, it would definitely be a great, and it only takes 1 yard of fabric, by the way. So it is a great upcycle, And also, I'm exploring, I thought about this too, making it into a dress. I haven't done it yet, but I definitely think this one is doable as a dress. So just another option if you're thinking about like, what could I do with this? Dress is definitely an option, I think. So again, you're laying the two back pieces on top of each other, right sides together, and then you're going to sew up one shoulder seam around the neckline, because you're basically fusing both of these pieces into, or fusing is probably not the right word, but you are making two pieces into one by sewing them together. And we are doing it at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, lining up those raw edges, taking your time when you go around the neckline. And again, I'm sewing this with a straight stitch. I do tend to like just do a little bit of a pull on my fabric. Not significant, but just a little bit of a pull. And making sure I have those raw edges lined up. And I'm doing the last little bit of the shoulder, the other shoulder. There we go. So I am done with this part. And if you can see, this is the back. You know, here's again your finished. Ooh, this one so you can see better. So here we go. So this is the back. Remember, we finished those with a narrow stitch, narrow edge stitch right here. So this is your back part, all done. Now we are going to put our back and front together. So here is our front piece. We're going to lay this right side facing up. So this is our front, right side facing up. And here is our back. And we're going to lay it right side facing down. Let me just make sure you can see that. Yes. So here's my front piece, right side facing up. And then here's my back piece, right side facing down. And you're going to line up those shoulder seams. So let me just see. We're going to stitch the back to the front at the shoulder seam. So I'm lining up my shoulder seams using some clips. And I'm lining them up. Yeah, this is definitely what I would consider a beginner-friendly sew and a quick pattern to sew, because it's 8:17 and we spent a good 20 minutes in the beginning just kind of catching up with each other. So, and you know, I had to do my little seam ripping thing. So this is a very quick sew, and it's super cute. It is super cute. I probably could try both of these on. So again, I have them clipped, and all I'm doing is just going across each of the shoulder seams. So I'm about to do that now. Again, stitching the back to the front. Oh, Tiffany, I'm sorry. I don't know if I apologize if I didn't say it was a shirt. Yes, it is a shirt. And it's like an open back tank top is what I would call it. An open back tank top, I think is what I would call it. And on this particular pattern, again, you have a couple of different options in terms of, you know, how much exposure you want. Like if you don't want your whole back to be open, then you can definitely choose a different view. View A and view C give you, you know, much more, or more conservative, I guess is how I would describe them. Okay, and I've done one shoulder, and now I'm doing the second shoulder. And again, I'm sewing these at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Go. All right, so this is the front to the back at the shoulder seams. Again, it's right sides facing each other, and so what you're looking at is that wrong side of the garment, and we've sewn them at the shoulder seams. And so now we are going to do a narrow hem at the neckline. And so while I have this garment kind of wrong side facing out, I'm going to take my iron and I'm just going to press down to create that narrow hem, and then I'm just going to hem around the neckline. And there's a couple of ways that you can handle that. You know, bias tape is an option that you have. You can, you know, folding it down and, you know, doing the narrow hem is definitely one way. If you have a cover stitch machine, that's another way. that you can manage. That's another way that you could do this as well. I'm going to actually open this up to make it easier for me to press it down. And this is probably something that I could do just with my sewing machine by just folding it as I'm stitching it. But I'm going to try to press it a little bit. You know what? I'm not going to press it because I think I could just fold it as I'm sewing it. So again, you're going to do a narrow hem around the neckline. Depending on your fabric and how easy it is, you could, sometimes I use my little Cricut iron. It's much smaller, and that's something that would make it easier to do. But I have so remember when I stitched my front and back together, that kind of created a guide for me. And so I'm going to use that as a guide to know where to fold, because it's at 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to fold it and then do that narrow hem using that as a guide. All right, and let me see. Can you see? Can you see? You can see. Okay, here we go. And so this is a circle. It's around the neckline, so you just want to take your time. And that's what I'm doing here, just kind of taking my time. Making sure that I am staying, straight as much as I can, especially as I'm going around the curve. It's a neck, so it's not a sharp curve. So it shouldn't be too difficult to do. But just take your time. And more than halfway done. To the last little piece. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to do a quick back stitch. And there we go. So we have created our narrow hem around our neckline, and I'll just show you what that looks like. Although you may not be able to see it well because it is the same color, but not to just do my little pressing that. And that's the back, and here's the front. This is the front of the garment. Okay. And let me move that out the way. There we go. All right, so now we're done this part. Basically, we've put the front and the back together. The last part is to create our straps, and then we'll be putting those in and then stitching the side seams. So here's where we're kind of bringing a little bit of summer into these, what many would call fall colors. We're adding some white in there with our straps. So you would cut 2 straps. This is piece number 5. And you are going to fold them in half, right sides together. So you fold it in half, right sides together. And then let me just show you what we're doing here. So I'm folding it in half, right sides together. And then let me just put this here so you can see. You are going to leave the, let me see, this is the wider portion or the less pointed portion open. So you're literally going to stitch up one side and to the point on the other side. So you're just going to go from that point all the way down, and then you're going to leave this edge open. And you're going to do that on both of the pieces. I'm not changing my thread for this because you're not going to see the color thread, because you're going to basically turn this inside out. So you will not see the thread. And you're going to do 5/8 of an inch seam allowance is what you're going to do when stitching this strap together. I'm just making sure my raw edges are all lined up. And here we go. And hi, the professional designer, welcome. I need to rethread my. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Miss Nikki. Welcome. Are you sewing tomorrow? I know y'all are doing a bag on Sunday, and I'm actually trying to figure out if I can, I'm trying to rearrange my life so I can get on, because I want to make that bag. I feel like that little clutch would be so perfect for me to take on my trip with me. You say your niece has a birthday party tomorrow. Okay. It says, I need to put up a post. Oh yeah, okay. But will you be sewing on Sunday? All right, one side done. And I'm going to cut off this excess fabric before I turn it inside out, or I should say right side out. So I'm just cutting off this extra. And this is a fairly easy to turn because it's big. So I literally I didn't use really anything to turn it. I just used my fingers. And I didn't have any problem turning this right side out and then pressing it so it's nice and flat. You said, please get myself, I need to. I have not, I see people using those, using the razor blades, and I just have not. I have not, but I need to. Let me see. Yes, I need to get the pattern too. I need to look for the pattern. So for those that are on YouTube and Facebook, on Sunday, Miss Nikki and the other bag girlies will be doing it's a little clutch bag, I think is what it is. And so so I guess my only question is that clutch beginner friendly? Because I've been trying to, oh, I see you say, you're saying yes. Ah, okay. It's a little wallet. So it's a little wallet. I've never made, oh, I guess I should say I did make a bag before with Aisha. So I have made a bag before, but I've never made a bag like those bags. So I'm trying to work out my schedule right now so I can join, because that bag looks it's so cute. And it's got the little, will y'all be doing hi Brooklyn. Will y'all be doing the embroidery too? Because I think I'm excited about that also. Okay. This fabric is a rib knit. This is a rib knit fabric. So the green is rib knit, and then this white is a rib knit as well. So here we go. We have one done and one to go. So before I do this one, let me just rethread. My sewing machine, sometimes it's saying it wants me to rethread it, and I'm going to give it what it wants. So here we go. So that when we finish doing both of these, we'll do like a quick basting stitch on the open end of the straps, or the ties, I guess I should call them. That's probably the correct name, ties, before we put them into or attach them to the sides. So again, we are sewing from the pointed edge, pivoting at the corner, and then straight down, and then we're leaving this more flat. It's still slanted a little bit, but it's more flat. We're leaving that part open so we can turn the tie inside out. And I just want to make sure that my raw edges are lined up. And then we're going to start. And we're sewing this at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. You said, what is the third fabric? Oh, the third fabric is jean. It's a stretch jean is what this is. It's got a little stretch to it. So, and then for those that, and I'll talk about this a little bit too, for those that weren't on earlier, I did make another version. And just in case you're asking about this one, which is kind of off the screen right now, but I made this version out of a woven. It's an Ankara fabric. So it's got a little stretch, but not much. So I just wanted to see how this pattern would do. It's made for a knit, but I totally feel like it could be, done with the woven, and it can. You just have to make a couple of adjustments. So I'm excited to make the pants to go with this. Matching pants. I'll make matching pants. Again, I'm just lining up my raw edges. I'm doing this last little part. You say you're undecided on the embroidery. Okay, I'm excited about that part too, but I've never done embroidery before, so I'm excited because I've never done it before, and just to be able to do that. But I also get it. If you don't want to go down that road, I understand. But whatever you decide, if I'm able to join, I'm here for it. All right, so I finished the second tie. I'm cutting off the excess fabric, and then I'm going to turn it. And we are almost to the section where we're going to be attaching this to the side seam. So at this point, we have constructed the front and the back. We've attached it. Each piece at the shoulders and the sides are open. And that's where we are going to attach these ties that we just created. All right, so we are done, and we're done cutting off that excess fabric, and I am literally going to be turning this inside out. And again, because it is so big, you don't really need anything to do it. You can literally just push it through with your fingers. And no issue at all. No big issue. And I'm just pushing through this little pointed part, the edge of the tie, which is super easy to do because it's so big. You could use like a little loop turner or something to stick in there, a point turner. But I was able to do it without it, so. And then I'm just going to press it really quick. Just do a once over with this iron. I can't believe my iron burnt that fabric. Like, that is crazy to me. That is crazy. All right, here we go. We got one. I'm just going to put a quick little press on it just to make sure it's flat. Give it some little steam. Everybody loves a little bit of steam. I do. And then I'm going to do the second one. All right, now that is all done. So I'm going to move that out the way. And then the only other thing I'm going to do before we attach this is I am going to just put a quick little basting stitch in at the very edge. I don't know that it's really needed, but what does it hurt? I'm putting it in the seam allowance so I don't have to take it out. And it just keeps the pieces, together. So I'm just doing that on the edge of the ties. And now I'm making sure I adjust it back. Okay, so now we have done our ties. We have stitched them together, turn them right side out, press them. And now the next step is for us to attach them to our garment. So let me move this out the way. Okay, stay up. All right, so in order to attach these to our garment, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to turn our garment right side out, our bodice. Make sure you, when you're drinking, take your time. All right, so here's our bodice. This is the front. This is the back. And so we are going to turn it so that the back is facing up, excuse me, but also so that it is right side out. So this is the right side of the garment, the back of the garment. And then we're going to take our 2 ties, and we're going to take one of the ties, and we are going to pin the side, the open or the raw edge that we base stitched. We are going to pin that raw edge to the back, only the back piece, one of the back pieces. You also want to make sure that, and you actually have notches. So I'm going to tell you what it says, that you are going to base the tie ends to the side edges of the back, matching the small dots and the large dots, having the raw edges even. So you're going to match up this raw edge even with the side raw edge, and you're going to match up those dots. And just to give you an idea of where the dots are, it's basically just 5/8 of an inch from the bottom of the back piece. And that's because you're going to fold that back piece under. And so you need to leave a little bit so that you can fold that back piece under. So that's where your dots roughly are. So I'm going to just clip mine to just the back piece. Again, lining up the raw edge of the side, and then your little pointed piece will be facing to the top. Just if you want to know what direction the pointed piece of the closed end is looking to the top of the shirt, it's facing the top of the shirt. So again, you're going to have just a little bit of extra down here, and that's eventually going to be folded under. So you're kind of leaving out your seam allowance is basically what you're doing. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. You know, line up the raw edges to the side. You're going to basically match it to the small and large dot, which ultimately when you're doing that, you're just leaving the seam allowance to the bottom of the shirt because you will eventually be folding that under. All right, so now that we have both of our ties in, I'm just going to explain this one more time. Hey Anna, welcome. You are going to put your bodice down, right side on the outside, but you're going to be having the back of the bodice facing up. And then you're going to take your ties and you're going to line up the raw edges to the side of the back piece only. And you're going to match it up with the dots. And roughly, if you want to know where the dots are basically, the bottom dot is leaving about 5/8 of an inch to the bottom of the back open, so that when you can basically kind of stitch it underneath to close your raw edge. So once you do that, then we're going to go to our sewing machine and we're going to stitch it at 5/8 of an inch. Let me make sure that's 5/8 of an inch. I actually think it's less than 5/8 of an inch. Let me just see what it says. It says, yep, 5/8 of an inch. Whenever it doesn't say, it's 5/8 of an inch. All right, here we go. And just make sure it's all lined up and flat under there. And can you see? Can you see? You can't see. Okay, there you go. Now you can see. I'm just going to do a quick little back stitch. All right, one side down, and now I'm going to do the other side, same thing. stitch. Okay, now we have stitched them, and let me just see if I can show you this really quick. I am just going to put this on. I'm not putting it on, but I'm just putting it on from the back. So this is the back is what you're looking at. And I just want to show you how this is on here. So it should look like this. If you could see that, and if you could see this, let me just take this off so you could see. So this is what it would look like. So this is the back piece, and this is it stitched to the back piece. So that's how it would look. All right, now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to turn this now on the wrong side. So here we go. This is what you're looking at when it's on the wrong side. And you're going to take your straps and you're going to put them to the inside because you don't want to sew them going in the wrong direction. So the strap should be going to the inside. You're going to line up those side seams. So let me just put this back on so you can see. And let me make sure that you could see. Okay, so let me just move this out the way. All right, I'm gonna lay this down flat so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So what you're looking at right now is the bodice inside out or wrong side out, I guess is the easier way to explain it. And your straps, you should be moving them towards the middle of the garment. And sometimes it might help to even just clip them together so they are out of the way, or pin them together so they're out of the way. So here's one, and then I'm taking the other one, and I'm just pinning it so it's kind of out of the way. So here's one. And now you're going to see both of these sides. I'm going to line up my raw edges on the side. So I'm going to line up my raw edges on the side, and then I am going to stitch my sides together, enclosing those raw edges, including the raw edge of the tie. So I have my clips here, and I am going to just clip, clip, clip. And you're also going to sew this at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So again, I did this this is a size, I cut a size large. I'm using a mix of rib knit and jean for the bodice. So it'll be interesting to see how that all fits, because we're very close to fitting it. Really, the only other step that we have after this is to do a narrow hem around the underarm. Let me see. Yep. And the bottom. And the bottom of it. Okay, so what I am doing now is I am basically sewing my side seams. 5/8 of an inch. I'm enclosing my my ties in the side. Do a little quick back stitch, and that is one side done. Now we're going to do the other side, same thing. And it does make it easier when you kind of get those ties out the way, so you know that you're not having it go in the wrong direction. And do a little quick back stitch, and that is that. And now let me just show you what it will look like right side out. So let me just, and I'm gonna take this off so you can see it. Okay, let me just move this out the way. Here we go. So here is kind of what the back looks like now that you've enclosed, oops, let's see. So this is the back of it, and you've enclosed this, so this is how it looks on your body, so you don't actually see that raw edge. And then of course this wraps around. I got it pinned up right now, but same thing on this side. It goes this way, so you do not see, you know, that enclosed part. And then of course from the front, that's it. And then the last part is to, well, the last two parts is to finish this raw edge by, you know, kind of folding it under. And you're basically going to be folding it under so that all the raw edge now lines up with the edge of the tie. So you're basically going to fold that under, fold all this under. So I'm not going to do it on live, but I am going to go and try this on. And then the same thing is true with the underarm. You're basically going to do the same thing, a narrow stitch all around the arm, similar to what we did around the neck. Same thing that we did around the neck. So I am going to go and try this on. And I will just tell you again, I'm going to use those same patterns, and I'll show you those patterns when I get back. So I'm going to put this on, and then I will be right back. Oops. Let's see. Let's put on. let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So this is it again. Still have to do the hem to the under the arms and to the bottom. This is what the back looks like. So remember, I had mentioned earlier that if you do want to be able to wear a bra with it, that you do need to bring it down. Probably, like, again, I have 1.5 inches. On each one of these, you need to bring it down just a little bit. And I think you could still create a curve where it lines up with the top, so you don't have to adjust this top. You just need to gradually bring it down so that it comes down a little bit lower here. So I think that that's a very easy, thing to do. You'll need to use your hip ruler to kind of create that curve a little bit. And again, that's but you could also wear a different type of undergarment, one that goes around your neck, and you're not going to have any problem with that. So this is what I kind of thought might happen, but also an easy fix. So I have a little bit of extra here, which I also had when I did the woven option. So when I match up the measurements to the pattern, here's my pattern, it tells me that based on my bust size, I'm a size large, which is typically, I usually do around a 14, which falls under a medium. So it's a little bit larger. And recognizing how the woven, I had to still basically take some out. I'm not surprised that with a stretchier fabric that it is looser. So what I will probably do is create a dart that falls right in line with this curve. So it may not end up being a dart. It just might be, I'm going to take some of this out, like right in this curve here. I think the permanent fix is probably, if I make another one, is to do a size medium, because that will probably take what I need out of this bust area. And it's also a little loose back here. So remember, I had mentioned that there was some looseness back here. It's less than this on the woven one, but it's there still. It's minor, but it's enough where I feel like if I went down a size, it would probably just lay flat. Otherwise, I would say it is meant to hit you right at the waist, and it does do that. If I turn it in, under 5/8 of an inch, that's probably where it's going to be, like right here. So if you want something a little bit longer, you might add a 1/2 inch to the bottom, just so it comes, maybe if you don't want it to hit like right at the waist. So it's like right at the waist, or right above the waist, I would say, is where it hits. So if you want something a little bit longer, then you might want to add, 1/2 inch to an inch, depending on where you want. If you want a longer shirt, then you probably have to add a little bit more. But if you want it to fall like right at the top of your jeans, then that's probably where it falls right now with the seam allowance in it. What else do I want to say? I think that, it has a little bit of give. Again, this is a stretch jean, but it doesn't have that much stretch. I mean, more stretch than the Ankara fabric, but obviously not as much as the rib knit. So that is pretty much this. So I'm going to do some adjustment. Again, I'm going to take a little bit out right here. And I think that's really all I'm going to do. I'm not going to mess with this at all. I'm going to probably leave that as is. And then I'm either going to make some pants to go with this. Whatever I make, I'm making it with this green. It's going to match this green because I have a lot of it left. So I'm going to make it with this green. And then I still have the hem around the arm. So I'm going to make this adjustment first. So the other recommendation that I would make, thank you, Gaynell. Thank you. Thank you, Belinda. The only other recommendation I would say is that before you do your hem around the arms, that would be a perfect time to try this on, because then you can make that adjustment here if you need to make an adjustment to this part before you hem around the arm area. So thank you. So yeah, so that is what this looks like. I think it's, pretty cute. It's not, it's pretty modest. Overall, covers you completely from the front, Hold on, I lost one of my cameras. So yeah, and then the back again, you have an option to bring this down a little bit lower if you need to, or you can wear a different type of bra. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Sabrina. Appreciate that. Any questions? Any questions? Any thoughts? Oh, let me just show you for those that might be joining some of the other options that I'm exploring for the bottom. The bottom to this, and then the bottom for the woven one that I've done. I'm either going to do McCall's, these pants, again, a loose pants. This is all for my vacation to Dubai, where you have to be a little bit more modest. So I'm trying to, you know, change things. I mean, I'm changing my wardrobe completely from what I was going to wear to something that's a little bit more conservative. And then I'm also exploring, view A. So it's a little bit of a fitted skirt, but it's going to be a long skirt. Or I'm going to do view D. That's the other one. View D. Let me make sure you can see view A. So view A is kind of has the like ruching at the top of the skirt. Is view A. Let's see. Can you see that? What is this focus? Here we go. View A. For these pants right here. And then I'm also going to do this wrap dress. It's a jiffy pattern, very easy to sew. And let me just show you the fabric that I'm going to be doing with that. So remember I talked about, you know, the colorful fabrics. I'm going to use this to make that wrap dress. It is a knit fabric. I got this when I was in Atlanta for the So Much Talent retreat. We went fabric shopping and I got this and I have never used it. So I'm going to use it to make the long wrap dress. So I'm excited about that. So these are all things that I plan on doing this weekend. These are all very easy, quick sews. And if I have time, maybe I'll be able to record the process so that you can see the step-by-step. And like I said, I have a lot is more than what I usually have, but pre-records that I'll be posting over the next 2 weeks while I'm off. Again, I won't be here next Friday or the Friday after next because I will be on my trip, going away. But she will be covering, so there will be a live sew along both of those Fridays. And then again, stay tuned to the Let's Get Social YouTube page because I will be posting some content and all the pre-records that I had talked about earlier, the lace dress, the bomber. I'll be sharing, reel from the photo shoot. And then for those that sign up for the membership, I also have some behind the scenes. And then I also will be going live or sharing some content because I do plan on going fabric shopping. So I know I talked about I'm not going fabric shopping, but you only get to go to Dubai every once in a while. And to be honest with you, it may be once in a lifetime because I can't even tell you the next time that I'm going to be going to Dubai. So I will be going fabric shopping while I am there. I'm not going to go crazy, but we are going to be going into the store and talking to the people. And for those that don't know, Dubai just had their first frock tail. So I'm trying to reach out to somebody that did the frock tail so I can see if like, hey, where can they recommend? Maybe we can even connect. And so for those that are members, you'll have access to that. And maybe I'll be able to even do an interview while I'm there. So I'm planning a whole lot of things. We'll see what happens, but I'm really excited about it and excited to share some of those experiences with you. And also, I didn't talk about this, but when I get back, so the first live that I will do when I come back is March the 29th. And it's not on the calendar yet, but I will be going live that day because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I am working on inviting some guests. We're going to be doing we're not going to be sewing that day, but we are going to be talking to some people some of our favorite sewists that you all love and I love. I'm going to be doing maybe more of an interview style with them. And then some of you I'll be, bringing up because guess what? You on some of our platforms, you don't have to have 1,000 followers. You don't have to have a minimum. You can come up as my guest. And so we'll be doing a little bit of that as well. So look forward to March 29th. It's going to be exciting. And then I'll get to talk a little bit more about the trip as well. So with that, thank you. Thank you, Miss Tata. Thank you. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the shares. Thank you all for tuning in. thank you all for following, because again, YouTube is monetized. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about all that we're going to be doing. And I'm really excited about my trip. So anyway, with that said, look, we did it in 2 hours. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of y'all. If you do make this, make sure you tag me in it. And of course, you'll see the final product as well when I make these adjustments to this pattern, to this garment. And then you'll see the finished look, because I'll be having some pictures. Thank you, the professional designer. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Gaynell. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Miss Tata. And let me see, I want to make sure I don't forget anyone. Belinda, thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Brooklyn. I appreciate you all. And we're gonna wrap it up. So you all have a wonderful weekend, and maybe I'll see some of you all in the sew along on Sunday. All right, bye. See you in a couple weeks, and stay tuned because I got stuff for you all. Bye.